five things very well that will reduce your risk. You don't need to do 100. Maybe when you're in your $100 million business, you need to do 100. Right now, when you're $100,000 business, you probably only need to do two of these things very well.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Christian, so let's talk about purpose because yesterday actually I was looking in YouTube and I was looking at the video of Steve Jobs, yeah, and he was talking about purpose. He was talking about you really need to love what you're doing because so like this you keep doing because otherwise any sane person will quit.
Right.
Every normal rational human being will quit, yeah, because especially in the tech space. Tell me about it. I know very well how tough is out there for tech, how competitive it is. Yeah. So then, Christian, tell us about when you find your purpose, when you have that passion, this pro that you have right now, like you described it. It have been a call to you that this is something that you should be focused, that you love about it. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about finding your purpose, and I'm glad that you talk about the culture. In our organization, this is what we do actually. Yeah, but we learn by trial and error. Same like you. Nobody come and told us, look, Harry, this culture
Right.
first, skill after. We never see that. We learn this by trying. Because we have the same issues. Not in my first company, but in the future company, we have the same problem. We have to focus in culture first. So then, Christian, tell us a little bit about purpose. Yeah, how you fell in love with this product, and because it has to. A lot of things have to tick the box. You have to be in love with the product, that have the right timing, the right market, solve the right problem at the right time. So it's a lot of combinations that go into place in order to thrive, to success a tech company. So tell us a little bit about the journey and tell us a little bit more about this your latest company, your new products.
Yeah. So in Blue Goat Cyber, we do medical device cybersecurity. So what that means is we help medical device manufacturers or companies in med tech bring a product to market because they can't get a product approved by the FDA in the United States or the EU MDR in Europe or whatever the regulatory body is. They can't get it approved unless it meets certain cybersecurity requirements. So this could be an implantable, like a pacemaker, a defibrillator. It could be a surgical robot. It could be a drug infusion pump. It could be like that Doppler ultrasound that diagnosed my blood clots. Anything. Yeah. And I'm passionate about it because it's niche down. It's not just general cybersecurity. I kind of think general cybersecurity is boring. Like somebody steals your credit card number, it's like whatever, it's an inconvenience. But if somebody hacks into a surgical robot that's
Oh my
performing
God, you
surgery on
can
your
die.
back,
People can die.
you can die. Exactly. And there was a case in the United States where, like Dick
Really?
Cheney, who was the vice president for a while, had his pacemaker, his defibrillator, the wireless function disabled because there was a threat where someone could wirelessly connect to the pacemaker,
Wow.
the defibrillator, shock him over and over and over and kill him.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a little more
That was a
tangible
real
than
story.
stealing your medical records or credit cards. Yeah,
Wow. You see? Wow, that's fantastic. I didn't know about that. Yeah. And
yeah. And plus, I like working with entrepreneurs, people with big ideas. A lot of people in the med tech space, they have a novel idea that's going to change the health of humanity. Like one of them we're working with now, they have this technology where they can take blood and basically dehydrate it to powder and then reconstitute it later on. So, this is very novel, interesting stuff. So this solves a big problem. Like you don't have to store the blood, you don't have to transport it. It's weighs less, so you can store it easier.
Wow.
We work with things like that are altering, the course of humanity and helping people that really have a need. Even like We work with an exoskeleton device that helps children with MS be able to walk on their own with this device. So things like that, which I feel are very life altering. It can really have an impact.
Yeah, medtech, Christian, is definitely will change the world. You know that I've been when COVID comes and I was really ill. I have flu. Yeah, I was treated by a doctor, and with the camera of the phone they could scan the body and they could see temperature, they could see symptoms, they could see. So there are a lot of technology out there, really, really powerful, that even
Yeah,
with your phone and the camera,
yeah,
they have a software. They put a piece of technology that into that camera, and they can detect heat and see your organs and see the amazing. So now, Christian, this is the biggest fear in the world, the biggest fear in the world that everybody have, all the billionaires, the Googles, the the Teslas, the Amazons, the biggest fear all these huge companies have is cybersecurity. This is the only thing that they are scared. They are not scared about anything else. This is the only thing that keep all these people, all these billionaires at night, is cybersecurity. So regardless that people don't take it, like you said, people say that it's boring, that not take it seriously. Can you share with us, in fact, how important is cybersecurity in our life and in our business, especially if
yeah,
you're in medtech, especially if you're in medtech?
yeah. I don't think a lot of people think about it. Like med tech is obviously a big one. Like if all the medical devices are down in a hospital, you're not going to be able to get treated, and people can die. Ransomware attacks at a hospital have caused delays in a patient with a heart attack, delay for having them admitted to the hospital, which has caused them to die. And we're moving towards these what we call cyber physical systems. It's like a Tesla, or here in Phoenix we have Waymos. It's an autonomous driving car. So there's more things that are autonomous that have a cybersecurity component to it. So there's much more risk because if I can hack into a car where somebody's a passenger and cause a car to speed up and go across the lane in the wrong oncoming traffic, I could kill somebody, right? Same thing with a drone. There's more and more things that are becoming more challenging from a risk perspective. Before we were concerned about somebody hacking your website and defacing it and stealing your
Mhm.
credit card information, but now we've got these surgical robots, and some of them are going to be autonomous pretty soon, where there's not even a surgeon involved. The robot is just doing the surgery.
Yes.
So just like that car is driving by itself, the robot's doing a surgery by itself.
My
So
dad got
imagine
an
somebody
operation
hacking
in
into these
Miami
things.
by the robot. My dad got an operation in Miami with the robot, and the doctor just did a little bit. Was the
Yeah, pretty
robot
soon the doctor's
helping?
not even going to be involved. Yeah.
Yeah, the doctor was there helping the robot. I think, calibrating the robot, putting the coordinate, but I think it was the robot who did the whole thing.
Yeah. So speaking of Miami, I was in the Miami airport last week, and they have autonomous driving wheelchairs. So if you need a wheelchair to get from
Wow,
one gate to another one,
really?
a wheelchair shows up, you get in, and it just takes you to the gate. So
Oh my,
I always think, man, what if I could hack through this thing, cause it to speed up and run over a bunch of people? I just like I have to look at the world through that lens. But these things obviously they're connected to the internet somehow, so there's a vulnerability.
100%.
Yeah, and like a lot of the products we work on that can help somebody walk, for instance, if I can hack into that and cause it to speed up and go off of a bridge or something, there's more risk, like I said, involved. And
Yeah.
it's not just that. I think the biggest fear with cybersecurity is our critical infrastructure. Like
Mm,
most of our electrical grids, our wastewater treatment plants, uh, all the nuclear facilities, all these things are connected somehow to the internet.
mm.
We like to think they're not, but I'm sure our adversaries are already into these environments, and when they want to, they can pull the plug on our electricity, for an example.
Mm. And then, Christian, the other thing is that, because people don't take cybersecurity seriously, then you find the cybersecurity expert that they say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to steal all your things. I'm going to show it to you. And if you don't pay me, then I'll give you back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can, which is something that is goes into the into a structure, and but the this is also why do you think that this behavior is commonly worldwide, which is a lack of values and ethics, but apparently works, and then is the only time that people, companies taking cybersecurity seriously. Nobody take it seriously until you don't have a hacker that stole everything from you, and if you don't pay them, they're not gonna give you anything back. Why do you, why needs to be to put in place in society so we take cybersecurity seriously?
I think nobody takes it seriously because they think it's not going to happen to them. Like, oh, I'm too small of a company, or we don't have anything worth stealing. But the cyber criminals are just looking for vulnerable people to exploit. It doesn't matter. It's not like they're always just targeting you individually. They have automated systems that scan for vulnerable companies, and if they find one, they try to exploit it. So there's that. And I would think as much as it's in the news today, people would start paying attention. But I also realize cybersecurity is a cost for people. It costs money. It doesn't necessarily add a value to your product or your service. It's a cost. And the other part is most cybersecurity experts don't understand business. So they try to sell you something like 100-point checklist and say,
Yeah,
the small business owner, you got to do all 100 of these things.
this
And the person's
this
like,
I
I
agree
can't
with.
afford to do all
This
100.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
That
So for me,
they're way too
it's like
far
if you could do
from entrepreneur.
5 things very well, that will reduce your risk. You don't need to do 100. Maybe when you're in your $100 million business, you need to do 100. Right now, when you're $100,000 business, you probably only need to do 2 of these things very well. And that thing should be prioritized based on what would reduce the risk the most. And this is actually very simple, but cybersecurity people like to overly complicate things, in my opinion.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.